Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch. Today is Saturday, December 21st. It is very close to Christmas. I hope everyone who does celebrate Christmas has a good Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Hopefully everyone gets to spend time with their family and loved ones. But I'm spending time with this cardboard, baby. That's right. No, I have some plans for Christmas. Hopefully, uh, nothing bad happens and nothing goes wrong, knock on wood, all that type of stuff. But let's go ahead and get straight on into it. We have got the best selling cards for the past week, as always. Malice White Rabbit and Malice and Underground have gone down in price. Malice White Rabbit's around 40 and Malice and Underground is about 30 to 35. These are the two ultras for the deck and the most expensive cards of the deck. There's really not a lot to say otherwise. I mean, I think here's something that I think has happened, right? Is you look down here, you see two Malice White Rabbit as well, a CR and a QCR, as well as a QCR Underground. I think we have finally reached what I have been suggesting for a while, which is we have multiple cards, or we have multiple rarities for the same card in the same set. It's what Pokemon does, and it's why Pokemon, in my opinion, is very cheap. You have very sought after collector items that are not easy to get, but you still have other secret rares and whatever their rarities are that are very, very common, and you end up with cards that have the exact same text, don't do anything different, but are only, a couple bucks, and all came out in the same pack. As opposed to having to wait months and months and months for reprints, that's what this effectively did. You have a $40 card, a $30 card, and you have higher rarities for the people who are willing to spend money on them. But the people who, either don't care or, want the higher rarities, whatever, they get rid of these lower rarities pretty readily. And that's why I think you have things like the Malice Ultras and all these Ryzeal cards over here not breaking the bank too badly, right? Like you see like each one's $20 and each one of these X Dice and Sword, I believe, are three ofs. But I mean, who remembers when like a playset of Moyi was like $60 a piece or something like that? So like it essentially does create a deck where they are, I'm gonna say this and people might hate me, relatively affordable compared to something like Cash Tira Snake Eyes, where the full deck was $1,000, or Full Power Tier Limit, where you had to have three field spell. Each field spell was $60 to $70. Yeah, the deck isn't too expensive, all things considered. Molcharmi Fulos is down to $100. Molcharmi Purulia is now down to $60, where it was at $80 for a while. Dominus Impulse is at $50. Primate Lordly Load is up to $35. Gosh, I remember when these cards were $2 a piece. This was. That's very sad. Fiendsmith the Engraver is up to 90. It's down from 100 where it was. I think the Fiendsmith hype has died down the tiniest bit. You can still see things like Lacrima here is $20, Tract is $20. These used to be 5 and like 5, I think, respectively. But the Fiendsmith hype, I think, has died down a little bit. This is, however, very surprising to me. Deception of the Sinful Spoils has gone from about a $40 card to about a $25 card. Now, I bought mine at $30, so I'm not too upset. But the thing is, I think basically people were playing this in Snake Eye builds because it just gave you more access to OSS. Now that OSS is gone, there's absolutely no reason to play like the Diabell Star engine in almost anything. There's really no payoff to it. So that means the Azamina engine is going down in price. But I think people are forgetting that we are getting insane Azamina and White Forest support in the next set that's coming out in just over a month. I mean, we literally had a reveal trailer for it yesterday. So Deceptions, I would say this is a pretty good pickup now. Even if you're not going to play the deck like Azamina White Forest or any Azamina build, this is a pretty good pickup to just flip when it inevitably goes up in price. Not financial advice, just an opinion. Let's see. Dominus Purge is still at $30. I do kind of wish this would go down a little bit. I think people have simultaneously realized that the Purge traps, or the Dominus traps, I should say, are good. They're very powerful, but they are restricted to certain decks. This is not copies 4, 5, and 6 of Ash in every deck. It's only in the decks that you can play it in. Chaos Angel is up to 30 bucks. I do actually want to see this really quick. What are the other printings of Chaos Angel looking like? And of course, I wish TCGA Player would fix this for a little bit. Hopefully you guys don't mind I go on a rant. I hate that you have random printings of cards that do not that like aren't grouped in with the other cards. So normally you have a little thing here that says see all versions. It's so frequent that cards from like tins and all these printings that are not normal printings, right? Like Prismatic Secret Rare or Collector's Rare or Ultimate Rare, they just aren't part of the group, and it's really annoying. Anyways, Chaos Angel. Yeah, you're looking at about 30 bucks for a secret or Prismatic Secret, and about $40 for the Ultimate Rare. Honestly, if you're going to pick these up, just pick up the OG Secret. The OG Secret looks amazing. I have an OG Secret. I think someone's borrowing it. But it looks really good. I love Chaos Angel. It looks amazing. Anyways, Neo Tempest Terahertz is 10 bucks. Thrust, you're looking at $7 for an Ultra Rare, which is still pretty good. Still a decent card to pull if you do manage to pull one. Let's get on to the next one. Let's see. Imsetis, you're looking at $20-ish. This is one of the few cards from the tins that is actually worth the value of a tin. There's only 4 of them, I believe. I believe it's oh god. You know what? Let's actually just take a look at it. Boop. Yeah, you're looking at the Blue Eyes, Chaos Angel, Imseti, Typhon, and I think that's it. The Alt Art Dark Magician is close, but yeah, you don't have a lot of cards anymore that are worth the value of the tins. I think I might be going over the Centurion cards here in a bit. Yeah, I am. So we won't talk about those quite yet. What else? Fenrir's, you're looking at 15 for the Prismatic Secret Rare from the tins. Unicorns, you're looking at 10. LZs, you're looking at 20. The new Ryugi cards. I guess I could talk about this. I think the new Ryugi cards are terrible. They're really not good, but a lot of people are trying to make them work because of how cheap they are. Here's my advice. Not financial advice, just personal, like, opinion advice, right? I think that Ryugi has some amount of potential. That being said, it's not going to have any potential until we get, like, into wave, like, 2 or even 3 of additional support. Not initial wave, like, additional support. So I'm not holding my breath that these are going to be playable. That being said, it is about a $15 deck. So if you really want to pick it up and play it in, all manner of strange things, Sword Soul, all these kinds of things, I can't say it's a bad idea to spend $15 on a deck that does have some potential. Typhon, you're looking at 20 bucks, 25 bucks. This is a card that is just continually, like, expensive. It's kind of strange. Bystial Rebellion, you're looking at 20 bucks for a printing of that. That's about it. All these other ones are QCRs or collector's rares. I guess Veruja's here is about 20 bucks. I guess that's selling. I guess with the Ryugi cards, it's becoming more playable. And Yubel is honestly not a terrible deck. I think it is still really scary. I think it's just not a lot of people are playing it. People are maybe tired of it. Anyways, let's get on to individual cards and cores. I want to talk about Orcust. So Orcust is really cheap now. Luckily, Dingirsu, Galatea, Girsu, all were in rarity collections. So they're all very cheap, have very cheap printings. I think, I won't say people forgot, but I think people maybe aren't remembering that we do have new Orcust support coming out very, very soon. I don't know if it's very soon, but the point is, the only cards that don't have multiple printings or are expensive and like don't have multiple printings are Orcust Crescendo, which is the Omni Negate, so you are going to want one of that. Orchestrated Return, which is a $5 card right now, and that's about it. Nightmare has multiple printings, including a common. Symbol Skeleton has multiple printings, including a rare. Harpor has tons of printings. I mean, you're not even struggling to get a Harpor at this point. So honestly, it's like a $5 engine at most. I shouldn't say that. You're looking at about 10 bucks for an Orcust core, including crescendos. And if you want to put in multiple returns, you're looking at maybe $20 to $30. Honestly, Orcust, the support is really good. It's a deck that has had longevity. It's a deck that is fan favorite. People love it. It's not a bad deck to have, just on hand. So maybe consider it. I want to look at Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace, obviously, Airlifter came back to 3 on this last list. I was playing Rescue Ace before the list, but since OSS got hit, there's basically no point. The interesting thing about this, though, is that Hydrant has doubled in price. It went from about 5 to 6 to about $10. I don't understand it. I think it's just people are like, oh, well, now you need to play 3 Hydrant to play Rescue Ace instead of just 1 or 2. That doesn't help. You have like 9 copies of Hydrant. If you consider like emergency doesn't even count. You have very few copies of Hydrant. You went from like 20 copies of Hydrant to now this, and it's very sad. So I don't think Rescue Ace is going to be it. I think it needs another wave of support to be playable after the OSS hit. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they'll give us support finally for this deck. Yes, we are looking at Centurion. Centurion has dropped in price a lot compared to what it was. You're looking at about $7 for Oxula. It was 15. You're looking at about 10 to 8, 9 to $10 for Trudeas and Primeras. These were what, like, I want to say Primera was up to like 30 or $40 maybe. No, okay, I'm just capping. It was about $15, but it's still dropped a good amount compared to what it was. What about the ultra rare? Yeah, it was $30 at one point, but yeah, they have dropped down substantially. I'm still very iffy about Centurion. I am trying to pick up at least one Primera, one Trudea, and one of the Synchros, because there is the potential to play this in White Forest. And I think there is something to be said about like a White Forest Azamina Centurion brew, like just over 50 cards of that, but I don't really know. Anyway, point is, what I'm getting at is, if you want to play Centurion, if you are a big fan of the Centurion deck, or the people who play it more to the point, you're not looking at a very expensive deck right now. You're looking at what, maybe $100 for Centurion. And it's a deck that just keeps seeing more and more play. I would say that it's not a bad idea to pick this deck up. If you really like the deck, not a bad pickup. I want to look at Ragnarika and Ogdoadic here. Why am I looking at these decks? Well, the Supreme Darkness teaser trailer revealed new Reptile support. A new Reptile archetype, I should say. It's a ritual Reptile archetype. The actual boss monsters aren't amazing, but that doesn't matter. The thing that matters is the fact that they have a ritual spell that is Shaddoll Fusion. The ritual spell says you can send cards from your hand or field to summon a ritual from deck, or you can send monsters from your deck to summon a ritual from hand. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. The fact that this deck essentially gets, or like any Reptile deck essentially gets a double Foolish Burial, possibly for the rituals, is really good. Now the rituals, I when I read them, I didn't think they were amazing. The one that I did read was like a negate, but it was a negate that you could stop by pitching a card from your hand. Honestly, whenever I see a card effect like that, it's like, okay, this is funny, but it's not good. Your opponent can literally stop you from negating your cards, or from negating their cards. And the other ritual, I think, was a board wipe. I forget. So I'm not convinced that the deck will be good itself, but getting Shaddoll Fusion for Reptiles is pretty good. So looking at Ragnarika, you're not looking at too much, because there's not really too many Reptiles. You have the Armored Lizard over here. I think you have 1 or 2 of the Lynx as a Reptile. Yeah, Snapper is a Reptile, and Chain Coils is a Reptile. But there's not a lot else that's a Reptile. So this deck isn't too expensive. You're looking at about 5 to 10 for Evil Seeds and about $3 for Blooms. Not too expensive. Ogdoadic is where the buyouts are going to be. Specifically, we have cards from Ancient Guardians that have not gotten a reprint. So we have Nunu. This is, I believe, the main starter for the deck. It is only about 25 cents right now. So I would. This is the card that I would be looking out for. Other than that, like, let's see, what else do we have? Water Lily had a OTS common, so that's not really a difficult card to get. Ogdo Abyss is about $3 from Ancient Guardians as an ultra rare. Ogdotic Overlord was from Age of Overlords. Is super not looking too expensive. But I mean, look at this. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 5. 6. Yeah, you're looking at a bunch of solo prints from Ancient Guardians. So when Supreme Darkness comes out with the Reptile support, I would not be surprised if these spike up in price. I don't think it's going to be meta at all, but there is probably going to be some weekend warriors or some local legends that are going to be playing this deck. One of the last things I wanted to look at before we get into specific cards is just old OTS packs. I didn't realize how cheap OTS ultis got after a while, because I mean, look at this. Ultimate Roar Water Enchantress is $8. Ultimate Rare Skill Drain is $10. Ultimate Rare Fallen Albaz is $7. Ultimate Rare Ghost Reaper and Wearing Cherries is $6. Ray is $10. Aluber is $4 for the OTS ulti. Sprite Blue, great pickup, $10. Tyrion's Rhino Heart, this deck is terrible. $10. Kashtira Fenrir is $30. So I have a story about Tearlaments, and I'm gonna put someone I know on blast just the tiniest bit. All right, so there's this one kid I know who just plays Tearlament, and you're allowed to play Tearlament. Tearlament is a deck that you can play. There's not any reason that you can't play it. That being said, he's taken Tearlaments to like 3, maybe 4 regionals, I think, and has just not done well. And we always tell him, please don't play Tearlament. It's not a deck that's good right now. There are 20 decks in the room that are maining Shifter. It's got so few targets. Almost everyone I know who's a pro player has dropped Tearlaments from their repertoire. They're just like, well, if we get cards back off the ban list, maybe we'll pick it up, but Tearlaments isn't it. I don't know why people have such a fondness for Tearlaments. I think it's literally just gambling. I think it's literally just the gambler's fallacy. But I just cannot, in good conscience, sit here and say, yeah, you should play Tearlament. It's a good deck. Anyways. On to OTS Pack 22. Per Lily is $8. Do you remember when this card was like... I want to pull this card up real quick. That's the wrong pack. One. Yeah, this card... Look at this. This card peaked up at like $26 like less than a year ago. And it's just been slowly climbing down. You can pick up a near mint for $5. It's ridiculous. Branded Fusion's 10. Thrust is 30. That makes sense. Last one here, I promise. Big Welcome Labyrinth, Curry Card, Incarnate, Enemy Controller. They're all sitting around $12. This is the most recent, OTS 23. There are obviously newer OTS packs, but I just wanted to look at these, and there's not a lot of value in OTS ultis anymore, I'll be honest. Yeah. The last thing I want to look at was some speed duel stuff. So if you guys have been watching the channel, you might have noticed that I've been streaming speed duels every now and again. A new speed duel box came out. Really cool. I like it. They put in harpies. A couple of years ago, I was picking up harpy like stuff from one of the first speed duel boxes because I was like, if they give us like queen and they give us like another card, right? Like this deck is gonna be playable in some capacity. They not only gave us everything that I wanted, they gave us everything from 2014 harpies, like a YCS topping harpy list. I don't know if it was still YCS at the time, but anyway. We have Queen, we have Channeler, we have Dancer, we have Hysteric Sign, we have Hysteric Party, all crazy cards. I play harpies in Fire, Water, and Hat format. Really fun deck to play, so I'm super happy about that. The reason I have Amazon Spy here is that the deck to beat right now, at least in terms of what people think is going to be good, is Amazonas. Amazonas is a very powerful deck. It's a very powerful deck in Duel Links. It has a lot of tools that make it super duper strong. And there's a couple cards that were in old Speed Duel boxes that are not in the newest one. So if you guys are interested in Speed Duels and you want to play what is at least considered right now to be the best deck, these are some cards that you're going to have to pick up, and you might want to pick them up soon because they might get expensive. So, Amazonas Spy. This is a solo print for Speed Duels. We can see, I think, yeah, if we just click all versions here, you can see there's 2 from Circuit Break in 2018 and only 1 from Speed Duels. This was a solo print for Speed Duels from a set that was a long time ago, I think. I just want to see what the Arena of Lost Souls even was. I forget. I think this was a pack. Um, let's see. Yeah, this was just a Speed Duel pack. This was not like a box set. This was back when they had Speed Duel packs. And this was not an easy. This was not a pack that anyone opened. Basically, the only reason to open it was I think this card here, Sphere Kuriboh. I think everything else in this set was pretty bad. Yeah, like Blue Eyes Ultimate Knight. This is another card that you can pick up. Arcana Knight Joker from Speed Duels. This is another card that you'd want to pick up. But Amazon Spy, which right now is the considered um, the best deck, only has that one printing. So that's a card you're going to want to pick up if you play it Speed Duels. Now Speed Duels isn't that card isn't super played, but it is a card that you're going to want. Arcana Knight Joker, it was in Tournament Pack 3. I don't think I opened much of this. I might have one lying around. Other than that, you're looking at Arena of Lost Souls again, and it's a $5 Ultra. So another card, Amazoness Village. This was in the GX Duelist Shadows box. This was, I think, the previous GX or the Speed Duel box that came out. Now this is, or not the previous one. This is one before, so not the last one, but the one before that. This is a great card for Amazoness. All Amazoness monsters gain 200 attacks. It's basically just Harpy's Hunting Ground. Once per turn, when an Amazoness destroys a monster by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, or is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special an Amazoness monster from your deck with a level less than that. This is really good because you can, if your Amazoness Swordswoman is destroyed, you can summon out Amazoness Princess, and Princess will get you a Search of a Spell Trap, which is really good. Again, this is a solo print from Speed Duels. None of these are expensive, but if Speed Duels picks up, which I'm not saying it will, it just could, these are cards that are going to be picking up. And the last one is another GX Duelist of Shadows box. This is the Amazon Sage. This is a personal preference. Anytime an archetype has a card that pops spell traps, I always like to include one of it in the deck, just on the off chance that I need it. And this is one of those. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked and is still in the field, target spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Kind of a slow effect, I will say, but this is one of those cards where it's like, well, it can kind of come up, if like it doesn't beat Battle Tricks, but it would beat something like, it doesn't beat many Battle Tricks. It wouldn't beat like a Wall of Disruption or a Quaking Mirror Force, but it would beat a Sakuretsu Armor if you've got a bigger guy. It would beat a Nightmare Wheel if it's preventing one of your guys from attacking. A lot of stuff. So those are some cards that I would say if you want to play Speed Duels and you want to play Amazoness are good cards to pick up. Same thing with Arcana Knight Joker. But anyways, that is going to be it from me, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This is a bit of a long market watch. Sorry about that. Hope you have a happy holidays, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe, but I'll see you later. Peace.